And here we are. It is Tuesday, September 29th. Wow, I'm getting ahead of myself. Welcome to Up to the Minute. We've got a great show for you for the next half hour or so. Brittany Pacheco is joining us from her home studio. Good morning, Brittany.
Hey, good morning, Todd. Yes, it is Tuesday, September 29th. We are very happy for everyone joining us this morning for our daily Up to the Minute. I also want to remind everyone to take the opportunity to follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget about YouTube, where we have thousands. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating. We've got a lot of videos for you to take a look at. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can be the first to find out the latest upload from us. And last but not least, we need your help. As our audience, we would appreciate it if you would share this podcast to your personal newsfeed so that we can grow our audience. Hopefully by double, maybe by the end of the year, Todd. What do you think?
I think we have a good chance. And the reason being is, we show them things they don't see anywhere else. Case in point today, Brittany had a party over the weekend for Luna, her pup. So are we going to see some birthday pictures, Brittany?
It'll probably be towards the end of the show, Todd. So everyone, if you're interested in taking a look at my pup's first bark day, as we like to call it, stick around until the end of the show.
That's right. Stick around. We've got more for you. We'll be back with you in a little while, Brittany. We are going to move on to a very serious subject that many of our students could be facing right now. Many of the folks watching the show can be facing right now. With the pandemic happening, many of them lost their jobs. Some people have been furloughed or just making simply less money. Maybe their hours at work have been cut back. Well, homelessness and home insecurity are very serious subjects for many out there in our audience. We've got three guests on our show to talk about this problem and to show what's being addressed, how the needs of our students and the community being addressed. We've got some special guests. Bianca Matlock is the director of HCC Financial Aid Operations. She's here to join us. Good morning, Bianca.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us. We'll be back with you in a moment. We've also got Etta Vincent, and she's the Associate Director of Fort Bend Family Promise. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone.
We'll be back with you shortly, but first we want to start with Jess Holland. And Jess is the Director of Development from an organization that I'm sure many of you are very aware of, the Fort Bend Habitat for Humanity. Good morning, Jess.
Morning, everybody.
I want to talk about the Habitat for Humanity. Recently, the first Monday of October, I should say, is coming up. It's going to be next Monday, and it's World Habitat Day. You guys have something coming up from this. Maybe you can touch on this right off the top.
So yes, Monday, October 5th is World Habitat Day. And with the pandemic and everything that is happening, we've had to switch to virtual fundraisers. So we decided this year to do our first annual virtual run. And I know for myself and many of my friends and family members, we do a lot of virtual runs. And it's a safe way for people to stay active, to donate to organizations, and you can create a team. So employers, or whether it's at church or your family or friends, you can create a team. You can do a 5K, 10K, half marathon, whatever you would like to sign up for. And it comes with some really cool swag. So this year it has a t-shirt, sticker, your racing bib, and our medal is actually a belt buckle.
Oh, that's cool.
We are still looking for sponsors until October 16th. And but we're hoping to get as many registrants as possible and raise a little bit of awareness. It's called Raise the Roof. And we're trying to raise awareness for the need for decent and affordable housing in the Houston area. It's absolutely needed. The cost of housing is extremely expensive, and we are one of over 2,600 affiliates of Habitat International across the country, and we're in over 70 different countries. So every area is something different. We don't only build brand new homes for hardworking Fort Bend County families, but we also do a lot of disaster relief, aging in place for senior citizens, critical home repairs in general. So we do a lot of construction on top of new home builds.
Well, I know you've got the virtual run coming up. Great way of raising some funding to help your organization. I've got to just go on a sidebar here because Habitat for Humanity, you can't talk about Habitat for Humanity without talking about one of your biggest supporters, the former President Jimmy Carter, and in my early news days, I actually had a chance to visit him on a site. And I've got to admit, and I saw this just recently in a documentary I saw a few weeks ago about Jimmy Carter that's in theaters. Fabulous documentary if you get a chance to see it. But President Carter, when you go out to a Habitat site, you're not going to get a chance to talk to him because that man is extremely busy. And I guess he capsulizes really what your volunteers are there for. They are there to work when they get on the site of Habitat Humanity when there's a build site.
Yes. So Jimmy Carter is actually one of our, top fans, I guess. When Habitat International started out of Americus, Georgia in 1972, he was there on the front line. Most people think that he was one of the founders. He's not one of the actual founders, but every year since 1972, there's a Jimmy Carter build that is picked at different locations across the country, and him and his wife are there every year. The last build, he took a little bit of a spill and had a black eye, and he was still out there swinging a hammer. He's 95, I believe. He's over 95 years old, and he is still out there swinging a hammer. And oh man.
Well, I know you also got other big supporters. I know Garth Brooks is really a big Habitat supporter as well, deservingly. You guys have some great supporters. Let's talk about the Fort Bend Habitat for Humanity. How long has this chapter been around? And you mentioned not only you build new homes, but you also do other outreach efforts as well.
Yes, so we were founded in 1992. I actually came on board last November. Previously, I was with the Bay Area Habitat for Humanity. So Fort Bend Habitat covers all of Fort Bend County. We have built 88 new homes. We actually just dedicated our 88th home to the Gray family on Sunday. We've completed over 160 critical home repairs, which includes disaster relief. It includes any critical home repairs for families that need assistance. We offer 0% interest, 30-year home mortgages to families. They're hardworking families, right. Whether they're a single parent, if they're widowed, there is no discrimination on at any level. And as long as you make we base it off of the HUD scale, basically. Right. And if you make enough to cover the mortgage, but at the same time you don't make enough to have a traditional bank loan, then you qualify. I mean, there's background check, credit check, there's all kinds of things. So it's for people that really need, we call it a hand up, not a handout. Sure. It is not free. They have to put over 300 hours of volunteering in, whether it's at the construction site on their home or helping on somebody else's home. So there's a lot of hope and dignity, and they put a lot of literally blood, sweat, and tears into building their home. And dedication day is very special. This year it was virtual, but nonetheless, it's amazing to see these families, and on dedication day, it's pretty amazing.
Jess, if folks want more information about your upcoming run and the Fort Bend Habitat for Humanity, where can they go on the web real quickly to get that info?
So you can visit our website, fortbendhabitat.org, or you can visit our Facebook page, also Fort Bend Habitat. And we have a link there where you can register for the race, or you can actually click on the link and it'll also give you sponsorship opportunities.
Jess Holland, we appreciate you joining us and telling us about the Fort Bend Habitat for Humanity. Good luck with your virtual race, and we hope to see you again in the future.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. We're going to move on to Etta Vincent. Etta is the Associate Director of the Fort Bend Family Promise. Etta, good morning again. Tell us a bit about your organization.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, basically, Fort Bend Family Promise, we are the only organization within Fort Bend County that has a program to meet the immediate needs of homeless families while also empowering them to attain self-sufficiency. We have a very rigorous program which we help families navigate through homelessness with the help of over 25 plus interfaith congregations and various organizations and groups. Uh, Family Promise basically recognizes that family homelessness and poverty are complex issues that require comprehensive and innovative solutions. So solving homelessness is not just about housing,
Sure.
but we deal with a holistic approach to the crisis of family homelessness to include three key areas of focus, which are prevention, shelter, and stabilization. And so in the area of prevention, for example, we focus on shelter diversion. So we are not what you call a typical shelter. So we try to keep families out of those typical shelter environments, which what we do is we try to keep families together and
Sure.
they're not separated by gender, sex, or age. So we also provide rental assistance for those families that are in our program and transitioning to self-sufficiency through a program called A Home of My Own. And whether that prevention or diversion be to assist with transportation or giving gas vouchers or through car donations to assist families to get back and forth to school and also work.
Because I would imagine, Etta, there's so many reasons why a person becomes homeless or remains homeless. And you're trying to not just fix the problem by putting them in a home, but to make sure that, or to ensure their success so they're not going to wind up in that situation again. And you said you help the whole family, including fathers, the mothers, and the children?
Absolutely. So family makeups and dynamics are very different for each family. Sometimes it may be a grandmother that's taking care of children, but as long as they're at least one school-age child in the family unit, we're able to assist and they're able to enter into our program. And just like you said, we don't just provide the fish, right? So we want to provide the rod so that they're able to fish and sustain from that.
And how do you work with the families once they're back on their feet and they're moving forward? Do you offer support services where they can attend classes or meetings? Do you check up on them with in-house visits? How does that work?
Yes, so while the families are in our program, we also partner with many mainstream resources within the community. And then we connect them to those professionals or experts, whether that be in financial or career or any of the social services available within the county. And so once the families graduate per se and obtain their own home or apartment of their own, then we continue to follow them and monitor. So they're never graduated from our program. So we continue to provide assistance, whether that be in mortgage assistance, utility assistance, gas vouchers, project housewarming, where they can, and also a food pantry where they can come and shop for food.
And Etta, if someone knows a family in need, do they refer them to you? Or if you have a need in your family, how would they contact you? Obviously, there's some qualifications. Where would they, how would they do that? And where would they go to get the assistance?
Yeah, so basically they could contact, we have two locations in Fort Bend County. One is in Missouri City and the other one is in Richmond, Rosenberg area. And they would just basically refer the family to contact us to go through our rigorous intake processes. And they can also go online and find the contact information at fortbendfamilypromise.org.
And are you looking for volunteers as well that can help in your mission?
Yes, absolutely. We could not do this without our volunteers. We have over 1,000 volunteer agencies and individuals that volunteer annually. You can volunteer as an individual, a family group, or even businesses and organizations.
So it sounds like, but yeah, that's a great deal for businesses and organizations, because a lot of them are looking for outreach work for their employees to get out and help the community. This would be a good one to join in. And you work specifically in the Fort Bend County area, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And if folks want more information, the website they can go to again?
FortBendFamilyPromise.org.
Etta, Vincent, we appreciate you joining us, and best of luck with your organization. We look forward to seeing you again sometime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, we're going to move on to our HCC connection. What are we doing for the community? Well, we've got a lot going on in financial aid. And, you know, it's hard to believe we're 3 years out of Hurricane Harvey, but for over this past summer, really for the past year, and since then, we've had a number of our students still struggling, still feeling the effects of a devastating hurricane that hit us more than 3 years ago. Bianca Matlock is here from HCC's Financial Aid Department. She's the director there. Tell us about the Hurricane Harvey grant, Bianca, because that was something many students may have not known they could have benefited from.
Yes, so the Hurricane Harvey Recovery Grant was given to HCC from the Department of Education. It was in response to the effects of Hurricane Harvey to try to assist students with housing, tuition and fee assistance, books, basically anything that they needed to be self-sufficient in college. And so we've had an opportunity to award students since 2018. The program just recently wrapped up this month, but we were able to make a big impact.
Well, I know I've heard some of the stories on how you guys helped some of the students, and it was pretty cool. One of them I heard, and I vaguely remember, a student needed a tire so they could put on their car to get to classes, and they were having issues with transportation because of this tire. You guys were able to help them out because of this. Can you think of that story and other stories that are kind of unique?
Yeah, so we actually have a husband and wife couple that they're phenomenal. I mean, their grades are impeccable. We were able to assist both the husband and wife with childcare specifically. So one, that the husband could go back to work, but he could also attend classes. And it also allowed her to be able to attend classes without, having to juggle between taking care of their child and going to class. And the wife in particular has a very high GPA, over 3.5. And she has been able to benefit from the program over several semesters. I'm sorry.
No, I would say this was an ongoing grant that was happening. So this kind of worked as a scholarship because they didn't have to pay back this money. Did they have to prove they suffered losses from Hurricane Harvey?
Yes, so we did require documentation from either FEMA, Red Cross, some of our third-party organizations here in the Houston area, or insurance claims. So they did have to verify that they suffered loss before that we could allow them into the program.
I would imagine this program provided students with a lot of opportunity to continue their education.
Yes, most definitely. We were able to not only have first-time, full-time students, but also have some readmits, some students who stopped coming because of the hurricane or because of the after effects of the hurricane were able to come back and obtain their either associate's degree or continue in a certificate program.
And I would imagine some of the stories you heard from students about the effects they had from the hurricane, some of them were probably pretty heartbreaking.
Most definitely. People lost loved ones. Some of the photos that were accompanied with the applications, you could see the water lines in the home, and some of them were as high as the ceiling. So it really gave you an idea of the detrimental effects of the hurricane and what these students have had to go through in order to re-enroll.
Looking back over the last 3 years and these grants that you were able to give to students, in your own personal opinion, what was the impact of this program?
I think the impact is allowing students to take finances out of the picture for once in their life and focus on education. We provided assistance for rent, utilities, transportation, books. So this was in addition to whatever aid that they were eligible to receive. So it really gave students a solid foundation to step back into education without them feeling as if they're losing anything, or, if they cut their hours, they were able to supplement it in other ways.
Bianca, I know it's tough right now to answer this question, but I want to throw it out there. Students right now are suffering because of the whole COVID crisis. As I mentioned at the top of the show, many have been furloughed, some have been laid off, or simply working less hours in many cases. Some jobs may say, we had you working 35 or 40 hours before, and now all we can afford is 20 hours a week. Do you see in the next year that, I know there's been some aid that's been given to students, but do you see that we might get a chance to maybe get some more federal grants to assist our students as we move forward towards the end of, hopefully, this COVID situation?
As far as federal grants, I'm not exactly sure, but I can say that HCC will be coming into contact with some state grant aid to assist specifically with the COVID-19 situation for emergency aid. We also have our Swoop to the Rescue program that is available to all students. It does not matter whether you're receiving financial aid or you're an international student. And those applications are available, or the application is available on our emergency help webpage. So students can apply right now for assistance to help in a myriad of different situations.
And have you been seeing students who've been affected by the COVID crisis applying for this aid through the Swoop to the Rescue funds?
Yes, especially our international population. This is the one fund that they can tap into. And we have a lot of students who are working in the service industries that were affected by some of the shutdowns and the rollbacks that the state of Texas implemented in order to keep everyone safe. So yeah, we've seen a huge increase in our applicants, specifically due to the COVID-19 situation.
Bianca,
yeah,
I'm gonna interrupt real quick, Todd. As we're talking, I'm also monitoring our social media. So we had a question come up about grants for women over the age of 50. Is that something you can touch on? Is there something that specifically is available to women at this age?
There are private scholarships that are available, but that usually does require, some searching, some history. Now, we do offer waivers and exemptions for students who are over the age of, I believe, either 55 or 65, where they're able to come to HCC and take courses. So if that person in particular, wants to find out more information about that, I would recommend they could always email our HCC special grants inbox. It actually comes to myself and my team, and we'll be more than happy to research that for her in particular, so we can point her to the right direction.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for answering that question.
Sure.
And Bianca, just to dovetail on that, if students have questions about specific funds that may be available to assist them, would they simply go to your financial aid page? Would that be the best place to start, or where would you direct them?
Yes, the financial aid page is always updated with the most recent information related to any special grants outside of what regular federal financial aid and state financial aid offers. Specifically, our emergency help page will highlight some of our grants that are available to students just based on certain circumstances. So I always recommend that students check our web pages first, because that is the first place we update.
If I was a student, I'm thinking, watching this, I may be thinking, well, it's a federal grant, but I won't get it. But would you encourage everyone to apply no matter what?
Most definitely. Our financial coaches, our financial aid team will guide students on what may be the best course of action. So let's say, for example, a student was not eligible for Hurricane Harvey grant, but they had a demonstrated need. That would be an opportunity for us to point them to maybe Swoop to the Rescue, or, when we were giving out CARES money, CARES Act funding, or whatever the situation may be. We do try to direct the students to the appropriate fund.
Bianca Matlock, the Director of HCC Financial Aid Department, thank you for being here and updating us on some important information that all our students need to know.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we're going to move on to Brittany. We've got a few minutes to go over some HCC news and announcements, some business we need to take care of. First off, Brittany, an event that's coming up, Girl Power in STEM.
That is correct, Todd. So that's happening this Saturday, October 3rd at 2 p.m. Speakers are going to include our very own Dr. Monique Umphrey, who is the president for HCC Northeast College. Now, this is in conjunction with Impact Hub Houston, SCORE Houston, and Black Girls Code. They're hosting this virtual opportunity for teen girls to gain inspiration and learn about the role women play in science, technology, engineering, and math careers, also known as STEM careers. You can register by checking your emails, our district Facebook page, or on this post below. I know there should be a graphic that's showing as I'm talking about this event, so be sure to take a look at that URL for more information.
HCC faculty and staff, Janet May is having some coffee breaks. That's right, Talent Engagement would like you to join Janet May, Chief Human Resources Officer, and Kyle Cooper from IT as they host virtual coffee breaks with HCC administration, faculty, staff. Yep, a lot of folks on that show. Next one is Tuesday, September 29th. That's today, 11 a.m. You can join, let's see, Kyle, is it going to be, yeah, it's going to be Kyle Cooper on there today. Well, he'll be the guest. He's usually in the background for the show, so he's always there, but today he's actually going to be the guest. So you got some IT questions. He's the executive director of our cybersecurity networks. He can probably answer those for you. Also, Thursday, October 1st, Marshall Hines, the chief facility officer, and Bob McCracken, the executive director of risk management, along with Dr. Diana Castillo, who is the college operations officer over at Coleman College. They are going to be on the show. Great show. That's coming up Thursday, October 1st. And Brittany, she's going to have some special guests at the end of the month, end of October.
Yes, you're right, Todd. But do we want to share that information now, or do we want to wait until October?
We can give them a tease. Of that. So we'll show some special guests.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway.
October 29th. So put it on your calendars, 11 a.m. There you go. Anyway, so virtual open house. We've been covering this all throughout our shows extensively, but we've got virtual open house sessions, Brittany, that are starting very soon in October.
They are, Todd. So we have Vanessa Grover on yesterday's Up to the Minute talking about the virtual open house sessions. So this is they're offering multiple sessions in the month of October that are going to cover HCC admissions application, financial aid, education pathways, and new student orientation, which is mandatory for all students. So if you are interested in participating in any one of these virtual open house sessions, head over to hccs.edu/informationsessions.
HCC's Real Film and Speaker Series continues Wednesday, September 30th, 1:30 p.m. It's a WebEx show. This week, they're having systematic racism and housing disparities. That's the subject with the guest, Luis Guajardo. There you go. That's my attempt to say it. Was that all right, Brittany? Did that work?
You did great, Todd. Good job.
Thank you. Also, Brittany, we got outdoor Wi-Fi zones. They're open right now for our students.
They're open not just to our students, but also to prospective students who are interested in coming to HCC. Now, select campuses offer this Wi-Fi zone, but keep in mind, everyone, that all of our HCC campus buildings and offices are closed. Now, you will not have access to the restrooms. You will not have access to outlets to charge your devices. So be sure you take the steps necessary ahead of time to make sure that you've charged your devices, bring it with you, and use the facilities ahead of time. So if you're interested in finding out which HCC campus locations offer the free Wi-Fi zones, head over to hccs.edu/outdoor Wi-Fi. Peter Frampton, tell him about the next event that's going on at HCC.
Did you hear the hacking while you were talking?
I did. Poor
Okay, well,
thing.
it wasn't me. It was this one. Yeah, hacking away. Northwest Life Hacking. Speaking of hacking, there you go. Life Hacking 101 is happening noon Tuesday, September 29th. Yeah, that's today. Okay, today at noon. How to work and study together when you can't be together. We'll talk more about that. You can learn about some resources, strategies, and tips to help you connect, collaborate, and succeed. We'll have the website or the email address in the post for the show. Brittany, we're about out of time for this show. Tomorrow, we've got some special guests, and it's your favorite day of the week because
we'll be joined by the one, the only Chief Greg Cunningham, who is the HCC police chief, and he'll be joining us to lift our spirits and keep us up to date with what is going on with the HCC police. We'll also have another student success story to share with Alberto Diaz at HCC Southeast. But Todd, before we leave, just real quick, I want to share my screen. Nope, can't do it today. You know what? Tomorrow we'll share Luna's first birthday. So everyone, I apologize for today, but we are just about out of time. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages, share this podcast, and join us tomorrow morning on Facebook Live for another Up to the Minute at 10 a.m.